See, while I think from the reported numbers, you're right in saying it's a disappointment, you have to look at it in the context of two simple vectors, which I would say. One is the macro environment, and clearly, particularly, we have had some disappointments with our acquired entity Bluefin, and everyone knows the level of uncertainty in UK. It's primarily a UK dependent business. So while the macroeconomic environment is challenging, I don't think it concerns us substantively, because we know it's a one-off issue for Mindtree in the context of an acquired entity.
Right.
If you look at the other vector, which is in terms of clients, like Crore pointed out, yes, we do have a few ramp-up issues with clients which have closed. Like last quarter, we did share that there were shift in decisions in both BFSI and retail. And you see the results this quarter. Both have delivered good growth numbers. There are some issues with clients in the travel and hospitality, and like we said, clearly we do believe it will be a back-ended growth, and we do anticipate that it will come back.
Right.
So while, yes, the overall numbers could seem disappointing, I think in Mindtree's case, we do see that these are controllable, which gives us the confidence that half year 2 is certainly going to be better.
Right. Also, if I look at it, realizations also, have been coming down, I think, for the second or the third quarter. And going by the current numbers, analysts are now saying that instead of the 18% growth modeled earlier, perhaps, you will come in at 15%, which is going to be significantly lower than the 20-22% last year. What is your own sense? I mean, back-ended growth will be difficult, right? Because you'll need at least 4% per quarter going forward.
Firstly, I'm not sure of the growth percentages that people assume. It's obviously their prerogative. From our point of view, we don't give guidance, except like we have historically stated, that we will grow faster than the industry, and we are still confident, absolutely, of achieving those standards even this year. Like KK explained, sometimes when there are broader issues that affect the industry as a whole, it's difficult for any one company to stand out beyond that. On the question on realization is a composite sort of outcome of multiple things. For example, changes to fixed price revenues, or changes to number of working days in a quarter, and so on and so forth, all affect the realized revenue number. But there is no doubt we are seeing a certain amount of price compression for traditional services when contracts come up for renewal. It's just the nature of the world we live in right now, where customers are seeing severe cost pressure in their own businesses. We have a very strong lever to offset it. Our digital story is just resonating so well with our customers. Even in this quarter, for example, we signed 93 million worth of deals in digital, which is more than the last quarter. So we do have other things to offset that natural pressure that our customers are putting on us. And on the traditional services, we are also approaching it differently by introducing automation, by introducing newer, innovative, disruptive kind of contracting and business models. We are also offsetting some of the pressure that we are seeing from our customers. So tactically, quarter to quarter, other things also impact realization. But on the whole, we don't see that as a sort of major worry for us at the moment.
Right. Jagan, of course, the decline in net profit was one of the key variables that was pointed out. I understand there were headwinds, including UK visa costs, but second quarter is when the wage hikes kick in. So are we, going to see this persist, the weakness that we've seen on the profitability front?
As indicated earlier by us, we are making an endeavor to hold the profit at the current level. There will be a visa fees will not be repeated in this quarter, so we will have a 1% benefit from that. The salary increase will have about 2% impact on our profitability, but our operational improvement and acquired companies' profitability improvement, we endeavor that we will have a same level of profitability for Q2 this year.
Right. And you mentioned, the whole UK Bluefin issue. Is that something that will go into next quarter as well? I mean, because it's still uncertain, nobody knows what's going to happen as far as...
On the Bluefin business, we are highly confident that Q2 will be a recovery of a very good sort of improvement over Q1, because the issues we had in Q1 were already, I would say, more or less sort of washed through in the numbers, and we expect Q2 will be a stronger quarter. Bulk of that confidence comes from contracts or projects already won and starting to execute, and if everything goes as per the plan that we see as of today, cumulatively, if you take Q1 and Q2, Bluefin will still look good. So it's only a shift of revenues from one quarter to another quarter. We don't see that as a long-term or a permanent sort of decline in that business.
Right. But Kay, do we have to accept that this is perhaps going to be the new normal, not just for Mindtree but also the industry? You know, the early teens kind of growth instead of 18-20% that we saw the previous year, at least for you.
See, I think clearly the industry is poised for a growth which I would say low teens is really going to be the industry growth rate. And is there uncertainty in the macro environment? Certainly yes, there's an uncertainty in the macro environment. What we need to also closely watch is how are there going to be challenges in the ecosystem. Protectionism is really a case across every geography. So these are macro factors which I think the industry needs to watch. I would believe while the demand environment is very good, the industry is poised to grow at a low teens over the next few years.
Right.
Just one additional comment to add to that. What we see is that the year as a whole, at least obviously specifically talking about Mindtree, will be a very positive year for Mindtree. We don't see any fundamental issues for that. We think our strategy that we have is executing fairly well. It's resonating well with customers. So we don't see any sort of deep underlying issues. But the way the world is at the moment, it will be uneven growth between quarters. You will have one strong quarter,
so
another quarter.
The
volatility between quarters is obviously
it's
like
good that you don't give a
guidance. Exactly. So other than the quarter to quarter volatility, I think the underlying sort of foundations of the business for Mindtree, as validated by our customers, is still continues to be very strong.
Right. And Jagan, in terms of the levers that you have, do you have headroom with respect to utilization, other things by which profitability or margins can go up in the second quarter? Anything that you will be using at this?
Yeah, our lever on the utilization will be an important lever we will use for improving the profitability. We have other levers also like acquired entities, saving of, finding out the cost saving opportunities and common sharing of the resources between that. And we have other levers which we are working on. We are implementing this operation management. We are taking a program on that, which will overall save the cost for Mindtree on the course of delivery.
Can you quantify how much?
I don't want to put a number into this now at present, but we are very, very confident of improving our profitability on this. But it is also tied up to the revenue growth.
Right.
As Rostov said, there can be a quarterly shift in the between quarter to quarter. But overall for the year, we are confident that we will be able to maintain good profitability.
Sure.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.